Hello everybody, it is Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and today it's time for episode 51 of my question and answer series. So we have a fair number of questions to go through today. So starting at the bottom with Jack Doble 2, what is your favorite voice over IP application? So for me, and like most people, it would probably be Skype because it's simple, it's free, and it just works really well, and it's available on pretty much every platform out there. So that is why I chose Skype. From Jordan Farrington, okay, so I don't have a developer's account. Is there any free way to get iOS 7? Well, there are free ways, but to be honest, I would avoid those because when an update comes out and you try to update to a new beta, your device won't boot. So that's just the way it is. So it would be recommended to just spend a couple bucks or however much people charge for a UDID activation and just get that done so that you don't ever have to worry about updates or breaking or your beta expiring and not working anymore and things like that. So for me, I recommend Kapoor124 because he offers cheap UDID activations. You can see here it's only $5. He's helped me out in the past, and everything has been working fine since. So from Jelly Rolls 7, PS4 or Xbox One? I would probably pick the PS4 because, well, it's $100 cheaper. I think that physically the device looks better, and so does the controller. Actually, no, the controller looks horrible. I forgot about that. But I think the console itself looks better than the Xbox One, although after watching this little intro video here, seeing it put together this way, the Xbox One does look pretty nice. But from seeing the menu system of the Xbox One, I don't really like it, and it seems to be more focused on entertainment than really gaming in my opinion, and that's really where the PS4 comes in because that's more focused on gaming, I think. And some of the exclusives that the PS4 has, I like better as well. But ultimately, I'm still a PC gamer. I don't care for consoles, really. I mean, if I wasn't a PC gamer, I would definitely pick the PS4. I mean, it's $100 cheaper. I like its user interface nicer. So, yeah. From Jelly Roll 7 as well, what's a good router around $80, powerful enough for a big house? My internet has been terrible, and would it be better to get a new router or a Wi-Fi booster or repeater? Well, I don't know anything about your house. I don't know if it's multiple stories, how many walls there are, how big it is in terms of square footage. So I can't really answer that because you could get cheap routers that could still go a fairly long distance inside of a house. So it really depends. If your house is absolutely huge with multiple floors, it might be better to get a power line networking system, and then you could hook a router up to that, or just get a couple of repeaters on the cheap and use those. Or you could spend more money than $80 and just get one router that's really powerful. And that kind of goes over to Justin Lee's question, which is, what is an Apple Airport? So an Airport is basically Apple's own wireless router. They have a couple of different models. They just came out with some new ones as well. So you have the Airport Express, which is sort of their small router that's pretty good for apartments or small offices. But then they have the Airport Extreme, which is much faster, performs well because it uses 802.11 AC, which is the brand new Wi-Fi standard, which gives you really fast speeds. Its wireless range is much better than previous versions of the Airport Extreme. So that's definitely, one thing that Jelly Roll 7 might be into. If you're up for spending, I think $200 for a router. Yeah, it's $200. So if you are in the market for this, it might actually be a little bit better to get the Airport Time Capsule, because this is basically the Airport Extreme. As you can tell, they look exactly the same. Even the inside parts are exactly the same. If you look at the Airport Extreme, there's actually a 3.5-inch slot for a hard drive, just like the Time Capsule. But this will cost a little more money, $299, but you do get a 2 terabyte hard drive, and if you factor in the cost of a 2 terabyte hard drive on its own and the fact that you're able to easily use it inside of your wireless router, the extra $100 is actually not too bad of a deal. So anyway, from Kapoor124, when will the iOS 7 jailbreak come out? Thanks in advance. Well, that's one of those Googleable questions, I think. From Megan Farr, have you seen this iOS 7 video? It's insane. Now, I've had this video queued up for a while. You can see that it's been playing for 21 minutes. So, yeah, it's a 10-hour video of the Rickroll video. Like a boss, I guess. Anyway, that's that. From Megan Farr, Android smartphones for $200 or under, something that supports Android 4.0 Jelly Bean. No, 4.0 is not Jelly Bean, is it? Whatever. Or higher and not 4G LTE. So, I would have recommended a Galaxy S3, but it's actually a bit more money than I thought. So, this ended for $299. This one ended for $172.50, which isn't too bad, but that's a CDMA one for US Cellular. Here's another CDMA one on Cricket, so those definitely don't sell very well. Sprint, another CDMA phone. Wow, that's a really horrible screen right there. So yeah, once you get to the GSM phones, the prices definitely go up quite a bit. But instead, I have been looking at the Galaxy S2. It's still a good phone. When I reviewed it back in the Gumball Tech days, I really enjoyed it. The design was good. It performed pretty well for it, at the time at least. And this one ended for, excuse me, $419, but that comes with a bunch of accessories that people probably don't care too much about. This one ended for $36. What's wrong with this? Obviously, that's not right. This one ended, this is the Skyrocket 2, so that supports AT&T's 4G HSPA+. That went for $86.51. There has to be a catch to this. So the condition is used. Let's go to the original listing and see what it says. So it must work. It's been thoroughly evaluated. Partially functional. It has heavy wear. There are multiple dead spots on the screen. Okay, so that's why it's so cheap. But if we go back and see some different ones, so this one's going to end in 10 minutes. Right now it's at 196. This one ends in 7 minutes, and that's at $72. So what's very nice phone, works 100%. There are no cracks. Just put a SIM card and start using it. That's interesting. So that's the T-Mobile version. Here's another T-Mobile version. I'm going to leave this page up, and by the time I'm done with this video, maybe some of those will be over. Well, actually, this video probably won't take as long, but from Corolos iHelp 101, what do you think of the HP DM1? Well, I Googled it, like everybody should, for whenever they have a question of some sort, and I can't really help you because the DM1 is very vague. There are hundreds of different models and configurations of the DM1 HP laptop. And as you can see from just looking at the tags for DM1 on Engadget, you get stuff ranging from higher end notebooks to lower end ultra low voltage processor notebooks. Here's one with an AMD processor with Verizon LTE for $600. And yeah, you just have to be a little bit more specific, so I would be able to go ahead and help you out. So that is that. Next up from Jordan Farrington, what is your dream car? I really don't know, but if I had to pick, it would probably be a Lamborghini of some sort because, I mean, just look at it. It's just so crazy looking. Obviously, they're really expensive, but as you said, when you dream, you tend to think of some pretty crazy things. Maybe this will happen one day. I don't know. So yeah, either the Lamborghini or the Dodge Viper. Oh, let's go back to the good one. Look at this. This just looks so insane. That looks really good. What's funny is that the new Corvettes actually look a lot like this. So they're definitely copying some of the Viper. So definitely the Dodge Viper, I think, is far more realistic than the Lamborghini. Obviously, because the price of the Viper actually makes it an incredible value. So enough of that. Last question from Corolos iHelp 101. Did you pay for the iOS 7 betas? No, I did not. I know plenty of people who wouldn't mind hooking me up with it. I used to have developer accounts, but I haven't had one in over a year. I just don't really have the need for one. So, I mean, especially since all I really care about nowadays is playing around with the betas, so I don't really need to spend $100 on an account anymore per year at that. So no, I do not pay for the iOS 7 betas. And that is pretty much it with this video. Next week will be episode 56, so definitely leave your questions down below in the comments area if you're interested in me trying to answer those. So I'm going to try and think of some things I can ramble on for a while and end up seeing what these phones end at. So I have 8 more minutes left in this video, so maybe I could find something to talk about if you guys haven't quit the video already. But I mean, the Galaxy S2, at the time, it was a good phone. I mean, it runs on various carriers' 4G network, not LTE. It could run Android 4.0. Some of the carriers have official updates. Some of them you have to get a custom ROM. I'm pretty sure that the AT&T version gives you 4.0 directly from the carrier, so you don't have to install any type of custom ROM. So this one's currently at $78.99 with 22 bids. It has less than 4 minutes remaining. According to the description, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, less than $100 if that's what it ends up doing in the auction. That's a really good deal. I wouldn't mind picking that up myself for various Android experiments. But they say it's in very nice condition. It has some scratches around the edges, but it works 100%. The screen has no cracks, which is always a plus. It would be nice to know if there are any type of scratches on the display itself, but he didn't mention it, so maybe there aren't any. Comes with the soft green silicone case, as you can see there. No charger, but any USB charger or computer can work. Just put in a SIM card and start using it. That's okay. So it just went up from $78.99 I think to $83.99, so we'll come back to that one in a few minutes. This one ends in just over 6 minutes, and its price definitely just skyrocketed. So this is the white one, though. It looks kind of nice. I don't really like how Samsung always exposes multiple sensor areas at the top of their devices, especially the Galaxy S4, because, oh, here's one right here. You see that there are so many, it's funny how that worked out, but it's funny how you can see so many black sensor holes instead of them combining them into one bar like they did on the iPhone 4S and the 4. They just make a bunch of different holes, and on the white Galaxy S4, it's very noticeable, and it just doesn't look as clean or slick as it would with one large dot or just one long dot. So the description for this one is that it's a T-Mobile Galaxy S2 in mint condition. It has a case and a screen protector since day one. This person upgraded to another phone and they don't need this one. Comes with a charger and the USB cable and an 8 gig micro SD card. So this phone obviously has 16 gigs internally, so that brings it up to 24. It's still at $196.50. This one is still at $83.99. So definitely curious to see what these end. So I just have less than 5 minutes of rambling on about whatever. So with the $5 of shipping, you're definitely paying a little bit over $200. I imagine this could hit $225 within the next 4.5 minutes, but we'll have to see. So this one is still at $83.99. Let's go ahead and take a look at this bid history. So it started at $5, and within 6 hours, somebody bid on it. And a day later, somebody bid again. And right now we are at $83.99 with 37 seconds remaining. This one is still at $196.50. Let's see what this one started out at. $125. So this guy was, it's a little bit of a high starting price. I typically start anything at $50, and I mean, most of the time you will get more than that if you're selling a smartphone or something like that. So this one is 10 seconds left. It's still at $83.99. Let's see if somebody makes a last second. Oh, there it is. So it just went up by $12, it looks like. And the page should refresh. So this ended at $101.53 plus $10 of shipping. I don't know where Megan Farr lives or what carrier she uses, but this is specific to T-Mobile in the US. You could probably get this phone locked for a couple of dollars as well. So that would definitely increase the value of it. But for $110.53 or $111.53, you're getting a pretty good phone. And considering that's a no contract price, that's really cheap. So this one still has less than 3 minutes to go, and it's still at $196.50. Well, since I have a couple minutes to kill, let's go take a look at this T-Mobile ad for the HTC One. I'm still trying to get my hands on the HTC One to check out, because I mean, the Galaxy S4 was great at first, then it got kind of boring after a while, then I started liking it again, but overall it's a decent phone for what it is. It's just that the only thing on the HTC One that I still don't like is how the display isn't centered with the entire phone. It's pushed up because of the navigation bar here. If they would have made the phone a little bit taller, they could put some more black space here so that the display looks centered on the phone, but that's a really minor con, I guess. And I really don't like how the rear-facing camera is just 4 megapixels because, like I said in the past, I don't care too much about photo quality. Most of the time I zoom into photos when I sync them over to my computer, and with 4 megapixels you can only zoom in so much before things start looking kind of bad. So the more megapixels that are in a rear-facing camera on a smartphone, the better, in my opinion. That's what I really liked about the Galaxy S4. I think it was 13 megapixels. I was about to say 16, but that just doesn't sound right. But 13 megapixels is just crazy. I loved how I was able to zoom in quite a bit and still be able to have a fair amount of detail in the photo. But those are really the only two things I don't like about the HTC One, other than the 4 megapixel camera and some very minor display things. It's a really good phone. There's just really no denying that. So this one is still at $196.50, less than 50 seconds remaining. I don't know if I would like the white Galaxy S2, because white on this phone, it just looks cheap. This I would probably get the black version, but considering it's probably going to go in the case, that doesn't matter too much. So 25 seconds and then I'll be able to end this video. I don't know how many people are still watching this, but I have been giving commentary on an eBay auction, of all things. And in my opinion, I think I did quite well at it. And a couple seconds left, so somebody brought it up to $200 even. Wait for the page to refresh. So this hit $205.70 including shipping. It's about $99 more than the somewhere in the $90 range for the... Okay, here's a white Galaxy S4. You can see what I'm talking about, how there's 1 black dot for the front-facing camera and 3 for the various sensors. I'm pretty sure they could have found some sort of way to put the sensors behind the earpiece, because the earpiece is already pretty long, so I imagine they could have done something there to make it look a little bit better by sticking those sensors behind the earpiece there. But anyway, this one ended at $205, which is noticeably more than the other one, and not sure why this one costs a lot more. It might be because of the 8 gig micro SD card, even those are really cheap. But that's it with episode 55 of this question and answer series. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave those down below in the comments area. But that is it with this video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.